takes one crazy white boy, some bittersweet revenge, an easterly wind, and a road dog to create the Angered, a hardcore metal outfit spawned right here in the CLE. This week, we'll be talking with John, Josh, and Level Up Cleveland veteran Jake Jekyll about their debut album, I'm Not Angry, and what waits on the horizon for the Mad Five. We have the Angered. I'm Big Bri, and Level Up Cleveland starts right now. I'm in the band. 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 All right, everybody, and welcome back here to another episode of Level Up Cleveland. And today, we have with us in the studio, the Angered. We have with us today, lead vocals, John Spalek. We have on guitars, Josh, the Road Dog, Sullivan, and a familiar face with everybody here on Level Up Cleveland, Jake Jekyll on guitars with the Angered. Also, Jake's also known with playing guitars on Bittersweet Revenge, and he's also the main guy at Signal Flow Studios, both of which we've already had here on the Level Up Cleveland podcast. But today we talk to the Angered. And usually when I start a podcast off with a band, I start off by asking them, how do you come up with a name? Why do you come up with a name? With you guys, however, I turned on the first song I listened to by you guys, and it was like, name that tune. Within 2 notes, I was like, that's why they're the Angered.
That's why.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no absolute reason to ask where you came up with the name. It absolutely fits the whole thing you guys are doing.
In your face, very blunt, very
Yes.
in, out, done. Each song is, 2.5, 3 minutes long. The
Yes.
whole album is over, I believe, in about 22 minutes.
It's like Selfish Rough Sex.
Yes.
Well said.
I think I was explaining to you guys earlier, I was like, it does kind of remind me, I mean, I wouldn't go to listen to this and think that you're going to hear SOD, but it has this thing that it reminds me of that type of thing where it had that good metal style going, and then it had that Milano. Like literally, I mean, I do believe that there's moments in the vocals where I hear like a Milano.
Well, you probably do.
Especially in the more the
fanatic.
the growly Milano parts that he does. I can hear an influence in that.
One of the songs that we thought about covering was actually "Kill Yourself" by SOD.
Exactly. It's a really easy one to sing. You have to remember a lot of lyrics.
No, there's not a lot of lyrics.
Actually, none of the SOD songs you really got to remember the lyrics much. But they're classics. It's a, Speak English or Die is a classic album.
I come from a rap history. I was in a rap group for about 20 years. Didn't release a whole lot of music, but was into doing rap and into that vein of music. But as a kid, I had grown up in the time of SOD, of Metallica, of Anthrax.
And you were around them kind of people. You were hanging around the crowds that were listening to that, so you were influenced by it.
Absolutely.
You were listening to it.
Mm-hmm. When I came back to do music as an older person, I had taken a long break from music. I quickly realized that I don't fit into rap. There's nothing that I really have to offer it anymore. It's not really, I enjoy the genre, but it's turned into something less enjoyable for me personally. It's kind of lost its roots in some ways personally. And so I decided to take a much different approach, and that's where Jake comes in. My friend Chris had started hanging out here in this wonderful building. He had started to get to know Mark and talk about Mark and, going
Mark
to see
Corkelis.
Mark from Bittersweet,
right?
And, Bittersweet Revenge and them. He had started coming around here. I had already started writing the style of lyrics. I had already written a couple of the things that eventually went on to be songs. I came to a show or two, started meeting a couple people. Around here, you don't get taken serious until you start doing something. A lot of people talk about making music.
Sure.
I started coming around, started to try and get a little bit of attention. The first member that I got was Kenny the drummer. I went to a show for
Rochambeau.
Rochambeau.
Got a dip in the lip, gonna shoot from the hip. Throw them back to the side, while the ball's in the sky. Full sweat, mean mugging while I'm walking all the places. Talking all the way, can't you see the look that's on the face?
Now listen, slow down, hit hard, 15 to right, away.
Yeah, we've had him. His
Kenny
name.
is
always-
an-
We're going to have to end
yeah.
up getting him on the
We're
show
going
one
to
day
talk
because
about
he's
Kenny for a while here.
Fucking phenomenal.
He was in 3 bands.
he's another one like Jake. He seems to be in
Yeah,
every
he
band.
was in 3 bands at the time.
Yes.
You know, Kenny is someone who his father plays drums, so he doesn't have any memories of not playing drums.
His dad was a very good drummer.
Yeah,
it wasn't
you know,
as
that's
if,
what I did
yeah,
on
it wasn't
Tuesday,
as if
and-
he wasn't who he
yeah,
was
certainly,
also.
certainly.
So you got
a great band, you know, all 3 of them. Isn't his brother also
Yeah, His Wesley. brothers- He's a drummer too.
his
Yeah,
brother?
Wesley's in the.
Uh,
I know one of his brothers.
really,
is
like,
an
quick and,
engineer.
kind of like Shane
Again,
is. They're all.
Well, Kenny was doing Fogger Display of Pantera at one time too, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Doing that also?
I've seen them live. They're awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, like he was doing the drums
Rage
for
Machine.
Pantera, and he does that. He's great.
Yeah, yeah. Again, as soon as I saw him, I saw the technician that he was. You know, the ability that he brought to the table. And then once I had him recruited to just, yes, I'll do your drumming, that's when other things started to happen because now I've got an amazing drummer.
Nice.
From there, I went to Mark to start recording, but Mark also knew about my rap career, and the first indentation I had of music was more of a punk rap fusion, to be quite honest. And Mark quickly pointed me to Jake. You know, that he had a more of a history within doing the rap and in between. I booked sessions with Jake, and the rest is history.
I think John came into the studio for his first session. He has a beat making software at home, and he came in with a piano, ding 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 ding, and I was like,
Teeth
okay.
Kick started
And I
out
started
as
playing that guitar, yeah.
You had the songs mapped out on a toy piano. You're saying? Or is it-
Yeah,
just
pretty much.
about. Yeah.
Yeah. For the first
The
couple of
first
songs. happened
couple
like
of
that.
songs, those songs were very punk. Those songs were very rap orientated, punk. I was learning. I was growing as an artist. Everything I had done up to that point was rap. We were continuing to make music, but we also knew that we wanted to add to the band. We have Jake. Immediately, we also got Angel involved, which was another
God Squad's
blessing.
Angel?
Yes. As soon as I started recording with Jake, he said, well, you know, my friend Angel, you know, what you're doing is interesting. I think he'll be interested. And so he was a great addition, bass player, Jake. Now we have a good sound, but we need a bigger sound. And I need someone to help me with riffs and other things like that. Jake is a member of BSR. He's got a lot of things going on. He's running a studio.
I see.
You know, you know, a lot is coming on to me. We approached Josh, and the first time he said no, but we didn't have him anything to offer. You know, again, a lot of people get offered to be in bands, and people talking about getting bands together, and you know, until you actually have something.
Correct.
It was also my birthday, and I was really drunk. So.
It was also his birthday, and he was very intoxicated. Yes, yes.
And this is, you're saying that was when you kind of approached him.
Yeah, you know, we have this project that we've started, and yeah, sure, you know, and
No, I mean, I got to agree with Josh on this one. I mean, there's so many ideas that never come to fruition.
Absolutely.
And
Especially around here, everyone wants to start a band. 'cause
Everybody wants to start a
The
band.
guys like Bittersweet Revenge, for example. Everyone sees Bittersweet Revenge. We're out here doing the shows, and everyone wants like a bite of that pie. You know what I mean? So everyone's like, "Oh, I want to start a band." There's been so many people, but John actually made it happen. You know what I mean? John.
I was going to get to that. You know, like just from hearing you talk, you know, the difference is that you have songs. So, Josh, where do you come from before all this? Like I mean, like what's some of your background like?
Well, you know, I've been playing the guitar since 9, and I've been in and out of like little bands here and there. Honestly, this is like the only first actual serious thing somewhat that I ever did. And before that, you know, I've been, you know, around the Cleveland music scene quite a while.
just I don't know, like I helped Mushroom Head move their equipment from one of their studios to the other. I was around them. I went on the road with Bittersweet a lot and did a lot of their like handling equipment. Not setting it up. I'm not that smart, but I was
moved it.
I was the yeah. I'm the
road
I'm the
dog.
meathead that can pick shit
He was
up.
the road dog.
Isn't that how Lemmy started? And isn't that how
Yes.
is there a
Jimi
lot of
Hendrix,
rock
right?
stars that start off like hanging out?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Lemmy
yeah.
was Jimi Hendrix, correct?
Yes.
Well, John always tells me that when they finally got me to come in, like he said that they were doing more like punky riffs and more shouting instead of yelling. When I came in, I didn't even really mean to do it. Just how it came out, it sounded more
Choppy and metal.
a lot more
Well,
crunchy.
Josh comes from the vein of Gwar and Slayer and the Misfits, and so he comes. Every band needs a member like Josh, the battery,
Absolutely.
we're gonna rock the world type of energy, and that's what Josh brought to the band. Once he came into the band, he was the excited one. He was the one, every practice he was bringing new riffs.
I kind of just flap it out on the table and say, "Hey, do you like this?"
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's not right. It's not articulated. It's not as if you came in and had a plan and you're like,
No.
here's how it's going to be. I'm just
It's his
talking about.
style. It's
Right.
it's what he enjoyed doing. It's the style. But it reminded me of, like you said, it reminded me of SOD.
One thing about like the guys that aren't here, Kenny, and we were talking about Angel also, who we actually had Angel on the show. Angel's great guy,
Wonderful, man.
and a great musician too.
Yeah, everyone should have someone like Angel in
Well,
their
you
life,
got your whole band is kind of constructed that way, isn't it?
That's what I eventually understood. Again, I'm not one of the people that grew up coming here. There's a tight group in this
Yeah.
building of people that all know each other and all have been in bands
Well,
and
that's
so on.
it's kind of funny because you're a younger guy, right? You're in your 20s. I mean, you're walking into a lot of veteranship amongst you.
I've been around a lot of the veteran shit, though.
Yeah, but I mean, like now you're stepping into their, like you were always on the outside looking in. Now you're stepping into that whole thing you've been watching.
Yeah.
How long? No, so how long has it been since you actually? Now, how long has it been? You've been in the project.
In the Angered project,
Yeah.
I'd say we started the album about I'd say a year and a half ago. Yep, year and a half ago we released it. Almost
less
a
than
year.
a year. Well, a year ago we released it.
Yep.
When you guys recorded this album, you guys did it at Signal Flow.
Yes.
So did Kenny come in here and do his drums separately, or did you guys have practices before and the whole
that
bit?
was a great part of it. Kenny was a part of 3 other bands. Even when I got Kenny to commit to doing the drums, Kenny didn't commit to joining a band. He committed to, I will do you this favor. I'll come in and
And
play
he had to
these
come up
drums.
with the drum parts himself,
Yes.
also on top of it.
So
We entrusted him
he
to do
worked
that.
second shift. We would be in session. At 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock. We would schedule Saturday sessions specifically for Kenny. And, drums are the longest to set up. And, you got to take pictures of where the microphones are. And, it's the most intricate setup to get going.
Yeah,
so we
right.
would set up these long things. He would sit in the room, listen to the song for 10, 15 minutes, and write a couple notes. And then go in the room and record it. And I'm not angry. And several of those songs are him just literally going in front of the drums and
After
that's
literally just hearing it like once or twice
he
or
would
whatever.
just say-
that day.
He would just say, "Okay, open the door, go out there, do a set," and like 80% of the time, one take. Okay,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, that's it.
No
Right.
kidding. And what, as far as Angel comes in, does he have any part into that? Does he play?
Angel came up with a couple of the riffs himself. Angel's a great guitar player, and
Yes.
behind the scenes,
Yeah.
when no one's
And
looking,
he brings a whole funky flair and stuff
yeah,
to things
he
too.
does.
That
he's
that's
a
super
great
cool.
musician
Absolutely.
himself, and so he is actually the creator of 1 or 2 of the riffs.
So you guys put out this album, but as a lot of the bands suffered through, the pandemic hits, and it puts the damper on the whole idea of what you had planned out once you guys while you were recording this album, how you were going to release it, and all the plans you have are now.
We had these dreams of getting on stage and playing these songs live, and then that brick wall of the COVID
Shut
area.
down.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
You know.
even during the final sessions or during the only essential workers and, ways we're trying to finish up and get it released by a certain time.
So many people have really even had access to hear this, really, are those that you guys have just reached by whatever social media access you've had and stuff like that. So it's not as if
We tried. We tried.
We did a little
We
bit of
really did.
boosting on,
you're up there.
Facebook
It's
or,
not-
so on and so forth. But we weren't able. One of the things that happened soon after the making of the album was that Kenny injured his arm. We replaced Kenny with a kid named Shane, another good friend, very good drummer. And within a week of him joining us, he snapped how many bones in his leg?
Like 3 or some
16 or
Have
something.
you ever seen the movie Spinal Tap?
Yeah.
Okay, I just
During the
wondered.
Flower People period, who was your drummer? Stumpy's replacement, Peter James Bond. He also died in mysterious circumstances. We were playing a festival, jazz blues festival. Where was that?
Blues jazz, really.
Blues Jazz Festival.
It was in the Isle of Lucy.
The Isle of Lucy.
Isle of
Jazz
Lucy.
and Blues Festival.
And it was tragic, really. He exploded on stage.
Just like that. It just went up.
He just was like a flash of green light, and that was it. Nothing.
And
was
so
there.
he
Reminds
went
you of
down
that.
for 6 months. And so, again, when you have drumming on the album like Kenny's, you can't just replace that with your average,
Right.
catalog drummer. He's doing things that,
We definitely got spoiled off of Kenny.
moving forward, we have access to all our friends to continue to record and to make sure the music is good. Permanent members are right now a thing
Scarcity.
that's changing.
Well, yeah.
Quite honestly.
But it sounds to me like that's going to be there's a lot of bands that exist this way where it's a core of 2 guys or 3 guys, usually 2, and then the other parts can change.
Right.
Turn it.
Another thing I'd like to say about the song "The Angered," one thing about me, I had a lot of support from my wife Kelly, and one of the funniest stories about y'all coming up with the "I'm Not Angry." I was downstairs making a little riff, picking along. I was playing some just like some hard classic rock sound and shit. Here comes my wife down the stairs and says, "Josh, stop playing that pussy shit. John needs fast, angry stuff." I said, "Damn it!" I'm like,
Really?
"All right, I'll go for
She's the one that kicked you in the ass?
kicked me in the ass to make that."
Nice.
Yes.
Well, that is supportive.
started putting
That is
in
supportive.
rules.
That's the opposite of what you would
My-
normally hear this stuff.
Yeah.
Once I saw the direction that the album had truly started going, of that, very in your face, very blunt, very in and out, we started setting funny rules in place, like nothing under 160 tempo.
Oh,
Nothing
really?
under
Yeah.
nothing under 180. The next time Kenny come in, like, guess what, Kenny? I got one at 210. He's like,
So speed became like the
He's
thing.
like,
was,
"Oh, yeah?
I think
Try
that
me."
one was Teeth Kick, wasn't it?
The new stuff. Now, I've heard the first one, and it's like I said, it's a very straightforward. There's nothing. There's no frilly stuff going on in that album. It's very straightforward. More of the same on this, or you guys feel like it's going to be a little different?
My opinion is to never make the same album twice. You can quickly pigeonhole yourself by taking too narrow of a road.
It's good to always stay diverse in your music, because if you, like John said, if you keep coming out with the same thing, people are gonna be like, it's just same shit over and over and over and over again. It's good to be diverse, catch new attention, catch new crowds, while keeping the same.
And you should always try to grow as an artist, in my opinion. Continue to evolve the sound and things of that nature.
Best favorite band? Who is it?
Beatles.
Who do you say, Josh?
This
gotta have
I
one.
can't say a favorite band. I could say right now I'm wearing Butchered at Birth, Cannibal Corpse. That's definitely
Cannibal
one of my
Corpse. Wow,
one of
there
my
you
main
go.
influences when I was like 10.
Really? So definitely like the grindcore, the just.
I'm into everything. Like I love to primarily play blues style. You know what I mean? Metal definitely came along in my earlier times of playing guitar as well.
Who's your favorite blues guitarist? You got to have one of them at least.
I mean, shoot, sound cliche, but I love Stevie Ray Vaughan,
Yeah.
Lightning Hopkins, Buddy Guy, big influence, and everybody in the middle, they all play a big part. You know what I mean? Robert Johnson, I even like putting some of them little.
You go back to the
picking
Delta
sounds in
Blues stuff. You ever do you have any of the old
absolutely.
Delta Blues stuff,
Oh,
like
yeah,
recorded
absolutely,
stuff?
man.
It's really
That's where
cool
it all
stuff.
started,
Yeah, and
you
it
know?
sounds it'll blow your mind. So, how long before you guys think you'll wrap this album up, and where are you guys at as far as the part in this new thing?
Within the new process, we've just started.
Do you have any songs? Do you have any songs written yet?
We have one full song and a couple that are
In the works.
So one thing I wanted to I forgot to ask you. You touched on your rap career.
Mm-hmm.
What was your rap career like? What like exactly what was that? Who were you? I'm sure your name wasn't
No.
John the rapper.
It also wasn't little anything.
What? So what? What was your
the CWB, the Crazy White Boy.
Oh, that's what the CWB stands for. I see.
I grew up in that era where rap was actually really good. The early era of the 90s, 80s, when you actually had to have a very original style and you had to be very, unique. And over time, I just don't like the auto-tuning, everyone's very repetitious of the other guys.
The mumble bullshit.
But can we hear any of your rap? I mean, is there anything that I'm interested in some of that. I want to hear
It's
like
on YouTube.
Oh, is it? And it's under Crazy White Boy?
I just don't understand it anymore. Every rhyme is a thought, the message that I send, the master of the rhythm, the creator of the blends, the killing of a king, the prophet on a mission. I'm slicing with precision, got that mental intuition. I'm persistent with my passion like I'm asking for the Lord. I tame my inner demons, now I seek the unexplored. I finally found some guidance, this alliance is my own. I'm not a victim of the system, I'm the sword within the zone. I've identified the tragedy, it's blasphemy, it has to be.
There's a CD coming. Yeah.
Oh, and I did notice you did put up on, I think it was Instagram, that you had just done a session with Narrator.
Yeah, I work with Chris DeCola. I work with Narrator. And
What are you doing? What are you working with? What are you doing when you're working with them?
Rap.
So you're still
See,
doing
but here's
it.
one of those things. When I say rap, I really feel, and I don't mean to be rude, but it's almost like saying rock and roll of the 80s. I really feel like it gives off that like hairband thought in somebody's mind.
I hear what you're saying. It's a bad word almost now.
Right. Everybody and their mother wants to be
a
a rapper.
rapper.
Right.
And
everybody has a rap tape. Everybody has an idea of
and
what
the name
they wanna
rap
do.
doesn't really describe
And
anything anymore because it
that
could be
is
so
not
many different things.
Really, what I do. I mean, if you put me up against 9 out of 10 rappers, I have nothing.
What
in
do
common.
you do?
It's
you have
the
anything?
same thing that I would say in not the angered. I don't curse. I'm very elegant. Isn't that funny?
He's a classy whore.
So if you're not calling it rap, what would you call your music? I mean, is it just something
it's
you
a
would
mix
call it?
between poetry and it's rap. You can't get away from the fact that it's rhyming words that you rhyme at the
And
corners.
it's doing good cadence, and there's a beat.
Right,
in the
there's a
background.
cadence, there's a beat, and so on. I just choose to try and take a more poetic. I'm saying something. I don't ever just rhyme for the sake of rhyming. My words don't rhyme at the end just because that was the best rhyme I could come up with.
And you're working with Chris and Narrator on these.
Yeah. Chris.
Are you going to come in ever and do like Eddie Van Halen coming in on Michael Jackson's Beat It?
He knows who to call if he's not.
Absolutely.
I got you.
Absolutely. The angered, I like that the angered is what it is. It's a blunt object. It's a hammer. It's my, I go into the recording booth. I sweat viciously. They have to put a small chair in front of between me and the microphone because I'm so loud. Because I project so much.
Oh, another thing with the second album I mean to bring up, we're definitely going to have a better cover.
I don't know. I kind of dig the cover myself.
You know what?
Yeah, we got to talk about the cover.
It's
So
ahead,
one of the things that Josh was left in charge with, I had taken charge of a lot of the sessions, a lot of the getting together, a lot of the financial burden of the sessions and things like that. Josh stepped up and said, "Well, I'm gonna do the release. I'm gonna be the guy that pays for everything. I'm gonna put it on Spotify. I'm gonna so on and so forth." The night that he was putting it on, he was having problems, and he had texted me a couple times. Eventually, he ended up posting it, and what you end up seeing now on Spotify isn't the album cover at all. We paid for an album cover, and had it made up. He couldn't get that picture to load, so he had a picture of us that he loaded. But then on top of that, he loaded it upside down.
Was that
So
an accident?
if you go to our Spotify page,
It's still like that? You can't fix it?
well, no. The point is now we're rock
That's
and
the
roll.
final publish.
Right. What that's rock and roll.
It was.
I really did think about, should we fix it? Should we go there? Should we? But now that it's there,
Beautifully.
that's rock and roll.
I love that.
That's rock and roll. That's how rock and roll happens.
It
So
actually did. Like when I
he jokingly says, when you hand someone your phone upside down, our picture is upright.
Right.
Well, I was going through my phone, like, man, what other fucking pictures can I use on the motherfucking Spotify? And I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just put a picture of us? And it actually did put us upright at first, but then I was just like, interesting. That's it. Just as simple as that. It sends a message of whatever the fuck you want, I guess.
It does. That's exactly what it sounds like to me.
Rock and
Like,
roll.
you know, if you see
You
an
can't
album
plan
cover
out
of the
rock
whole
and roll
band,
all the time. It just happens.
if you see the whole band upside down, you're gonna think, oh, I gotta wonder what that is. If you just see a picture of us, like, oh, okay, it's just some guy. Upside down, you're like, why the fuck? I'm interested now.
Yeah,
You know
well,
what I mean?
yes, it's different. And it's like, you're flipping the world up on its end, right? Or it's flipping it upside down or something. I
Ass
don't
in
know.
the air.
All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to wrap it up right there.
Yep.
Great to have you guys on.
Thank you, all the members of Anchor.
We'll be
Did a
looking
good
for the new
podcast.
one to come out, and we'll push that the first one. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think people that like good aggressive music would love it.
Yeah,
I really
your
do.
comparison to SOD really, because
Like I said, I
I've turned
don't
all
want people.
them on to SOD.
Don't think that you're going to hear the Scott Ian riff. That's not
No,
what
no,
it is.
no.
But it's definitely
in-your-face
has this.
riff.
I hear Billy Milano.
Thank you.
I actually hear him in your voice. So.
SOD, MOD.
All right, guys, we'll wrap it up here. And The Angered, check them out. All right, we're going to go now. Level Up Cleveland.
You're fucking dead, that's what I said. About the snap, keep seeing red. I lost my needle, I'm lacking thread. Don't want a doctor, don't want his meds. You're fucking dead, sick in the head. You seem deranged, you seem misled. I speak no lies, I don't pretend. Fuck with me now, you're fucking dead. Final call, fuck you all. I hope you trip, I'll watch you fall. Crash in the walls and bang your head. Fuck with me now, you're fucking dead. You're fucking dead because I see through all the lies. You tried to run, but I'm plotting your demise. I'm coming for you, no matter where you hide. You're fucking dead, and I got you this time. You're fucking dead because I see through all the lies. You tried to run, but I'm plotting your demise. I'm coming for you, no matter where you hide. You're fucking dead, and I got you this time. You're fucking dead, still seeing red. I hate this place, kill me instead. Control my dreams, kill all my friends. We fucking died, and that's the end. You're fucking dead, I put the bed. Still in a rage, anger needs fed. I gotta go, pain left is spread. Fuck with me now, you're fucking dead. Final call, fuck you all. I hope you trip, I'll watch you fall. Crash in the walls and bang your head. Fuck with me now, you're fucking dead.
Brought down this fire, marching the roofs of music the start of a whole revolution. This morning the fire is out. Prayer and alternative help will come to help the world.
This is Slade, it's gold. 860-year-old masterpiece of Gothic architecture. Francis President said a part of us. Part of us.
Take or accept the presence that man is not nature to be redeemed, but one must recognize himself no potential, no liability, and deal with the course that man can no longer That'll be fine.